So hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to focus on the Gen 2 tanks and show you which ones I focused on. They are nice when you start having full hero squads of the same hero type, because Gen 2 tanks, unlike the Gen 1 tanks, they have to be applied specifically to specific hero types, whether it's Berserk, Resilience, or Control. Otherwise, they're really not that effective compared to what they could be. So the first one here is the Fang MK2. As you can tell by the skill, is meant for Resilience. So in general, for every 600 base attacks, it deals 195% damage to all enemies. But if you were to have this on a Resilience squad, if all friendly heroes are of the Resilience style, damage dealt is increased by an additional 22%. So what does that mean? So that means if you're rallying, you should be paying attention to what type heroes your rally leader is using. Because if they're rallying with Resilience, yellow, and either they could send a mech with this tank in it or this tank, and you don't send yellow in turn, they lose out on having it increased by additional 22% from your heroes. It may not seem like a lot, but it adds up if no one does the right thing. So if you choose to put this Fang MK2 on any other hero that's not Resilience, you only get for every 6 attacks, it deals 195% damage to all enemies. That's all you get. This is why I said it's important to pay attention to these Gen 2 tanks and where their skill applies the best. And then we have the Savage tank and Ally of Control. This, just like the previous one, is much more effective when it's used with a control style hero. So this one reduces enemy damage dealt by 19% for 3 turns, which is okay for this tank. If all friendly heroes are of the control style, all enemy damage dealt is reduced by an additional 2.2%. This one wouldn't make such a dramatic change. That's a pretty small percentage. But this one is one of the ones in the gray area. If this is all you had, like I have random tanks that get applied randomly because they don't go in the mechs, it still reduces enemy damage dealt. So not complaining too much about that one. Then we have the Leviathan MK1 from the Generation 2. This one, as from the title, Berserk Shield. So for every 6 base attacks, the tank creates a 530% strength shield to protect all allies. And just like the first one we talked about, if all friendly heroes are of the Berserk style, the shield strength is increased by 60%. So you want to make sure that when people are joining your rallies to make sure they're sending the correct heroes. And if you're newer to the game, you do not have to have the same generation heroes as the rally leaders. Say if you are coming back to the game and you're in a much older state, where obviously the rally leaders have all these brand new generation heroes and then have the march set up from like the previous 3. You don't need them. You just need to find a hero, preferably that has their skill max, and make sure they're all red. So they will have this little red symbol up here at the top if they're Berserk. And then over on the side, they'll also carry the same symbol. It makes it easier to find them, like Bella. So even if you have just Gen 21 or younger or older heroes, just look for these red symbols. And then the same could be said for yellow. If you have to join a Resilience March, look for these yellow symbols. And then blue is Control. And then here we have is Doomwheel. It's another Gen 2 control tank. If it creates that 530% strength shields every 6 attacks. And if all friendly heroes are of the control style, the blue style, shields increased by 60%. And then we have Pathfinder MK2 Gen 2. This is another Resilience tank. So this one reduces enemy damage dealt by 19% for 3 turns. But if all of the heroes in that rally, building, etc. are of yellow or Resilience style, enemy damage dealt is reduced by an additional 2.2%. And then we have the Leviathan MK2, another Resilience tank. This is an infantry one. This one also creates another shield of 450% strength to protect all allies. If all friendly heroes are of the Resilience style, it increases the shield by 60%. This one's still okay, even if you're alone and it's not Resilience, it's still a decent one to give you a shield against damage. But it does work better if you and all your joiners are using yellow too. Then we have Pathfinder MK1. This is a Berserk Rider tank. And then for every 7 base attacks, this one reduces enemy damage dealt by 17% for 2 turns. So this one, if everyone is using red or Berserk style, the enemy damage dealt is reduced by an additional 2.2%. This one's okay if it's not Berserk, but 2.2 might mean win or lose. You never know. So it's always good to have that on the correct hero type to use it effectively. Then we have Oppressor, which is Gen 2. And this one is a control tank for hunters. So this one, I think, actually does make a difference. It should definitely be used on control. So it deals 165% damage every 7 base attacks. And if all friendly heroes are of control style, damage dealt is increased by an additional 22%. So that, I feel, is only useful on control. So this one is the Fang MK1. And the skill is Berserk Blade. I do not have it unlocked, so we'll have to look down here. But it starts off with every 800 base attacks, it deals 140% damage to enemy. But as you upgrade it, and then at level 8 is when, if all friendly heroes are Berserk style, the damage dealt is increased by an additional 45%. So this one is also one of the ones that you could use it on other hero types, but it works much better when it's used on Berserk heroes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I hope this video helped you. And until next time, bye-bye.